This is Aaron Dotter with the Dott Real Estate Group. This is Chioki Wade with loanDepot. Are you buying a house in 2019? Here's what you need to know. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about buying a house in 2019 and what you need to know. The first step is the most important step. To find out exactly what that step is, we're going to talk to Chioki.
Hi everyone, Chioki Wade here with loanDepot. So in my opinion, the very first step in the process would be to get pre-approved.
Absolutely.
Knowing your buying power and matching that up with the house and price point that you're looking at is a crucial part of the step. And more importantly, we want to make sure that you're pre-approved so that you can shop with confidence when you're out there and looking at homes.
Absolutely. And not only that, it kind of helps us to determine exactly how much you can afford. But Chioki, what are the things that determine how much house you can afford?
Yeah, great question. So your credit score, your income, and interest rates, and of course the price point that you're looking at, all determine how much you're going to be able to afford for that new home.
One of the things that people look at is the purchase price. It's not necessarily what we should be looking at because of those factors that Chioki just talked about. It should really be about the monthly payment and what you can afford. And like you said, with those variables, that's what determines that monthly payment. That monthly payment is mostly determined right by the interest rates.
By the interest
They've
rates,
been fluctuating a lot.
Yep.
What's going on with the interest rates?
Yeah, great question. Very relevant right now. So with the government shutdown, we've actually seen an improvement in interest rate pretty substantially, mainly because the bond market isn't doing that great right now. And interest rates actually go the opposite of what the stock market does, which most people don't know. So
it confuses a lot of
yeah.
people. It does.
So the government shutdown in a roundabout way has been good for interest rates. We are on a temporary opening of the government, so depending on what happens in the next 30 to 45 days, will determine what's going to happen with rates coming back up. But the good news is with a decent credit score, rates are still in the 4s, sometimes even low 5s, just depending on the loan program. So still historically, if you compare, very low.
Which is actually just in the recent history, that's still pretty low right now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Even within the last 10 to 12 years, rates were higher than they are now. So it's not like we're talking about our grandparents' ages or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like this is recent.
So with interest rates, though, you were talking about if they had a decent credit score.
Yeah.
What kind of credit scores are we looking for exactly when they are looking to pre-approve, and what kind of loan programs it gets them into?
Yep, absolutely. So very valid question because I think there's a lot of misconception out there. So if you have your own down payment, we can do a credit score as low as a 520,
wow.
520.
Okay.
All the way up to a 780 or 800 credit score. So depending on where you are in that range, does determine a little bit on the buying power and the loan program that we're going to be going with. But just rest assured, even if you are in the 5 or low 600s, you still have the opportunity to buy and still get a great interest rate.
And that's great news because I do deal with a lot of people that say, hey, my credit isn't that good. And they come back and tell me it's low 600s, high 500s, but even with the programs that you're talking about, we can still get them approved.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And if for some reason you aren't ready at that moment, let's say for like a down payment assistance program or anything, part of the services that I offer, which is free to you as a customer, is credit repair. So if you're on that borderline and we just need to do a couple of minor adjustments to your credit to get you where you need to be to qualify for a particular program, it's totally free for you and it's part of what I do for you as a service. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. With some of the programs that you were talking about, you're saying that they would come in with a down payment or down payment assistance or like a low down payment.
Yep.
How much exactly do you need when you're looking to buy a house?
Yeah, so multitude of answers there. So I'll go over kind of high bullet points. With a VA loan, if you're a veteran, you have 0 down.
Awesome.
If you're looking in a rural area, there's loan programs called USDA, which are also 0 down. But if you're looking in a metropolitan city or here in the valley, if you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years, you can do as little as 3% down for a down payment.
Awesome.
And then it just ranges from there. So then it goes 3.5%, then 5%, and so on. So the lowest is 0, but you mentioned down payment assistance, so I'll take a second just to talk about that.
Absolutely.
So whether you're a first-time home buyer or not, there's a big misconception that you have to be one in order to get down payment assistance. That is not true. But with the down payment assistance, what it does is it gives you a grant, which helps you cover that 3.5%, or 5% down for the property.
Okay.
So that's thousands and thousands of dollars that you don't have to come up with as a buyer, because it is difficult to save that kind of money. But if you if you have it saved, great. We have options for that as well. So
good to hear. Yeah. Very cool. So having covered from the very beginning, getting pre-qualified, what it takes, interest rates, credit scores, and how much money you got to put down, that sounds like a lot. Exactly from start to finish, how long are we talking?
Yeah, so pre-approval process usually takes, I would say, 2 to 3 business days at the most. If you've got all of your documents together and everything else, I can actually pre-approve you same day. Okay. But from start to finish with the process, I would plan for probably 45 to 90 days. Not primarily because the loan takes that long, but from a pre-approval starting point, then the ball goes to you for doing the fun part, I call it, the home searching, right? You get to get out there and look at all the pretty houses. So that could take anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 or 5 weeks, just depending on what you're seeing and if you like it. Okay. And then once you're under contract on the home, I would allow for about another 3 to 4 weeks for the loan process to finish. So I think a realistic time frame would be 30 to 90 days. Again, just depending on where you're at. So,
yeah. All right. So there you have it. You're buying a home in 2019. First step, get pre-approved. Chioki here will help you out. Find out exactly what you can afford for your house, how much you need to put in for down payment, and maybe even if you can use one of the down payment assistance programs. For time frame, if you're looking anywhere to buy in at earliest a month out to possibly 3 months, it's probably a good time to start looking and at least start thinking about the process. If you have any questions, you're always able to throw them to me, Aaron at dottrealestate.com. And also, I'm sure Chioki wouldn't mind if you asked him, and you can contact him
at chwade at loandepot.com, or my direct cell phone number at 480-684-4031.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.